morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us for this news conference. With me here this morning is Lincoln Police Department Chief Michon Morrow and Lincoln City Council Member Tom Duden. And I want to say thank you, first and foremost, both of you for your service to our community. Public safety continues to be our community's and my administration's #1 priority, and we continue to invest in this priority through our partnerships, training, equipment, facilities, and resources that our outstanding public safety professionals need to keep themselves and our community members safe. Our shared commitment to public safety is paying dividends. Today, we live in one of the safest capital cities in the country, and I'm really proud of our team at LPD whose exemplary work keeps our community members safe and secure and protects our high quality of life in Lincoln. Today, we're here to share with you how our public safety professionals are working to make Lincoln even safer and helping us advance our goal to become the safest and healthiest capital city in America. I'm pleased to announce that we are releasing the 2023 Lincoln Police Department Annual Report, which provides the clearest and most comprehensive annual review of our public safety statistics. And by using 2023 as a benchmark, this report illustrates how, over time, we have significantly reduced violent crime and worked purposefully to protect everyone in our community. In a few moments, Chief Morrow will provide more details on public safety statistics and trends included in our report. Before she does, I want to just lift up two really noteworthy successes that our report makes clear. In 2023, Part 1 crime, which covers 8 categories, including violent crime, burglary, theft, reached a 20-year low in our community. And in 2023, our police department received 620 applications to join its ranks as police officers, the highest number of applications in the past 7 years, demonstrating the impact of our efforts to grow interest in careers with our police department. I want to acknowledge and thank the entire team at Lincoln Police Department who work in partnership with our community members and local organizations to maintain the safety of our entire community. And I'm proud to work alongside them and highlight the results of their efforts today. And here to present an in-depth look at the public safety statistics within the annual report is Lincoln Police Chief Michon Morrow. Chief Morrow?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. I am honored to stand here today to unveil the 2023 LPD Annual Report. I have to say I am just exceptionally proud of the work our officers and professional staff do every day in service to our community. It is showcased in our newest annual report that is now posted on our public homepage. And Lincoln remains a safe community thanks to the tireless efforts of our officers, professional staff, business, our community members, and everyone who calls the capital city home. And going into our presentation, when the mayor announced my nomination as police chief in February, I laid out priorities for our department moving forward under my leadership. And those 4 pillars for us were recruitment, retention, resiliency, and respect. And I'm committed and will remain committed to these goals and making Lincoln a great place for families to live, work, and play. Today I want to talk about our department overall as a whole and our department's growth over the last year as we discuss various statistics. And we're going to start with the Lincoln Police Department's calls for service in 2023. Across the board, calls for service increased slightly last year, with officers responding to more than 115,000 calls in Lincoln. Nearly 18% of all calls are for a disturbance of some type, followed by special service at 10%. And special service could include calls like check welfares, motorist assist, and then that's followed by Part 1 crimes and crashes. Part 1 crime, again, includes our violent crimes along with auto theft, burglary, all other thefts, and arson. The data on this chart, as you can see, is color-coded like a heat map, where green shows the downward trend and red will show an increase in the statistics and the numbers that we're experiencing. So you can visually see the trends in each of the categories listed. Despite Lincoln's growing population, as of now more than 50,000 in the last 20 years, we are proud to share that Part 1 crime is at its lowest level in the same period. As you can see in the last column of the chart, aside from auto thefts, every other Part 1 crime type follows that trend, again, a downward trend. In 2023, we did see an increase in auto thefts. due in part to social media trends that have been impacting not just our community but across the country. And it is specific to certain makes and models of vehicles. This is an ongoing priority for our department. We encourage all community members to take extra precautions to avoid becoming a target of someone stealing your vehicle. Taking a closer look at Part 1 crime over the last 5 years, it's down more than 5% in just the last year and down more than 4% when we compare that to the previous 5-year average. Violent crime. This is going to include homicides, aggravated assault, robbery, and rape. In total, Part 1 violent crime is down 1,000, which you can see in the green. In 2023, it was down more than 10% compared to the 20-year average. And when you look at this data per capita to accommodate population growth that we just talked about, that extra 50,000 alone in Lincoln, violent crime per 100,000 is down 32% in 2023 compared to looking back at 2004. Part 1 crime per 1,000 is down 47% in 2023 compared to 2004. Lincoln did experience 8 homicides in 2023. That was a decrease of 11 from the year prior, and while every life lost is tragic, we are grateful to know that fewer families are suffering from the death of a loved one in Lincoln due to violence. Aggravated assault is also down, nearly half of the number of our highest year we experienced, and that was in 2007. Robbery is also trending downward with a 70% drop from its peak in 2005 of 255 to last year in 2023 it was 156. We look at clearance rates to help illustrate the work of our officers and again our professional staff, and that's highlighted on this slide for you. Again, this is the number of cases where an arrest has been made compared to the total number of cases overall that we investigated. In 2023, you can see auto thefts continue to be a significant issue in our city, with more thefts and fewer cases are able to be cleared. Turning now to traffic stops, I want to talk about this. We conducted nearly 50% more stops in 2023 compared to 2022. This upward trend reflects a commitment to traffic enforcement that maintains the safety of our roads for every driver and passenger, you, me, and your family and my family alike. DUIs, we've seen an increase in driving under the influence arrests since 2020. In 2020, we saw more people staying home due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then throughout 2023, as we continued to look for ways to increase and have an impact on DUIs, we participated in several enforcement projects that were funded with overtime from our partners at the Nebraska Department of Transportation Safety Office. These projects led to multiple DUI arrests and likely prevent crashes and likely also saved lives and injury from DUI-involved accidents. In fact, later this month, we're really excited to announce that several LPD officers and professional staff will be honored at the Mad Hero Awards for their impressive work impacting this issue in Lincoln. As a reminder, we ask everyone to plan a designated sober driver. Call a taxi or a ride share, a family member, a friend, someone who can get you home safely. And also do not let a friend or a family member get behind the wheel of a vehicle intoxicated. If you see an impaired driver on the road, contact law enforcement. Your action could save your life or someone else's. The next area that we're going to highlight is our shots fired. We follow the use of guns in crime closely and saw more than a 20% drop in shootings and shots fired across the city in 2023 compared to the year before. I do want to point out that we had 3 fatal shootings. We did have 8 homicides, so 3 of those involved a shooting use of a firearm. That total of 88, as you can see overall, is below the 5-year average. Again, we've talked about auto thefts. It's already been referenced, but want to take a closer look at that data here with you today. As expected, you can see that there is an upward trend of this crime in 2023. What I want to share in that number, that 950, that includes both the actual auto thefts and attempts. So 217 of that 950 were attempt auto thefts. We continue to see vehicles left running. 1 in 5 is the number that we've experienced where we see the vehicles running, and nearly half of all vehicles had their keys left inside. We ask all drivers to continue to be diligent by locking your vehicles. Please secure your valuables. Don't leave your weapons in the vehicles, spare keys in the console of your car, and make sure you close your garage door. Park in well-lit areas outside. Small changes can have a really big difference as we all work together to keep everyone safe and protect property. Larceny from autos. This is something that we know impacts a lot of our community members. We did see a 20% drop of larceny from autos in 2023, thanks in part to the dedicated work to decrease catalytic converter thefts. From 2020 to 2022, more than a quarter of all of the larceny from autos were catalytic converters. So again, want to touch on that hard work that was done by many in our organization and partner agencies. With their work, we saw a nearly 77% reduction in catalytic converter thefts from 2022 to 2023. This work earned 3 LPD members the Mayor's Award of Excellence for how they were able to greatly impact this issue. Marie Matine in our Crime Analysis Unit, Investigator Jason Drager, and Officer Brent Levitt, again, all for the work that they did. Stolen firearms in Lincoln are closely linked with the larceny from auto cases that we just showcased for you. Nearly half of all stolen guns in 2023 came from vehicles. The pie chart shows a breakdown of where stolen firearms were taken, and about 30% of all of those firearms that were stolen were recovered. Turning now just a little bit, want to focus on the mental health calls for service in our community that continues to be a priority. We continue to grow partnerships to help those impacted by mental health, and we've done that in multiple ways. First, our mental health coordinator continues to focus on these types of calls for service with our community, as well as additional partnerships. The department did see a 10% increase in mental health investigations and attempt suicides in 2023 compared to the year before, which is a similar increase that we've experienced over the 5-year average. Those needing to be placed into emergency protective custody has decreased by 12% year over year. We want to remind our community about the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, the partnership between the Lincoln Emergency Communication Center and 988. The innovative partnership empowers our 911 telecommunicators to connect individuals in suicidal crisis or emotional distress directly to licensed crisis counselors with 988, and we're really proud of that partnership. The Lincoln Emergency Communication Center really is our first responder in our community, taking the 911 calls and dispatching law enforcement and emergency personnel across Lincoln and Lancaster County. In 2023, the center fielded more than 428,000 calls. That's nearly 50 calls per hour, almost 1,200 calls per day. Of the 428,000 calls, almost 110,000 of those were emergency calls. We are truly grateful for the dedication and professionalism of our telecommunicators who answer 90% of all of those calls within 10 seconds and remain calm under pressure to be able to coordinate resources efficiently and with expertise. Recruitment and hiring, as I mentioned at the beginning, is one of the pillars for my time as chief and under my leadership. Recruitment, again, top priority for the Lincoln Police Department, and we are happy to share applications for officers is up. We have received a record 620 applications in 2023 and made 23 hires last year. Our 2024 training academy class currently has 14 recruits committed, with the goal of adding more as the hiring process for that summer class continues. Our recruitment coordinator is focused on expanding our recruitment efforts with our team, using a multifaceted approach including job fairs, community and cultural events, campus visits, including HBCUs, our historically Black colleges and universities across the country. We also want to share some of the benefits of joining the Lincoln Police Department. There are many. We offer one of the highest pay scales in Nebraska, and officers and their dependents are entitled to a free education at a state of Nebraska university or college. We offer yearly raises. We have many specialty positions opportunities. There's 4 promotional ranks, 6 weeks of paid parental leave, bilingual pay, and so much more. We invite you to visit joinlpd.com to learn more about the process and how to apply. We are always hiring for police officers, Our communication center is growing as well and in the process of adding dispatchers, hopefully as we speak. And we periodically have opportunities for professional staff to join the Lincoln Police Department. All of this now is the right time to consider a career in law enforcement. We would love for you to join us, as we are a top-rated department. And as you can see, our community tends to agree with that sentiment. Our citizens reported usually or always feeling safe, and officer performance of above average or outstanding. Both increased over the last 2 decades, as you can see on the trend line. This is just some of the data featured in our 2023 annual report. I invite you to dig deeper, take a closer look, and examine the 70-page document that we now have posted on the Lincoln Police Department public-facing homepage. It offers a lot of additional information on our various specialty units, the specialty functions, exemplary projects, and reward recipients from 2023. You will be inspired, I hope you are as I am, of the commitment and accomplishments of our officers, our professional staff, and our volunteers. I want to thank each of them for the hard work. They inspire me every day to come to work and be the best leader that I can on their behalf. In closing, I want to reiterate the mission of the Lincoln Police Department, and that's a commitment to providing quality service that promote a safe and secure community for all. I am proud to call Lincoln home, and I want all Lincoln families to feel safe and secure, because we're doing the work. And this is what we do every day, intentionally coming to work to protect and serve and provide that safe community. By following our leadership philosophy that we have established at the Lincoln Police Department of mission first and people always, we believe that we are creating a positive environment that fosters growth, and our employees in turn creates the best in them to be able to provide the best service to our community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Morrow. I'm so pleased that we have a city team investing in LPD and our public safety professionals, and that's a really important partner in that is the Lincoln City Council. And I'd now like to invite up our current Lincoln City Council member and longtime Lincoln Police Department officer, Tom Duden, to share a few words. Councilman?
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you very much, Chief Morrow. I hope everybody can understand why I supported her appointment, and this is her explanation of the 23 stats and what have you. It just displays the confidence that everybody should have in her. As a member of the City Council, I stand in support of the Lincoln Police Department and their unwavering dedication to maintain public safety in our community. The release of the 2023 LPD Annual Report underscores the department's commitment to keeping the community informed, providing valuable insights into our city's crime statistics and trends. I want to express my sincere appreciation to our city team, including Chief Morrow and her staff at LPD, for their tireless efforts in making Lincoln one of the safest capital cities in the nation. Their dedication to serving and protecting our residents is commendable, and I am proud to support and to work and foster a safe and secure environment for all. The statistics presented in the annual report reflect not only the hard work of our law enforcement professionals, but also the collaborative efforts of our community members and their local organizations. Together, we continue to make strides in reducing violent crime and ensuring a well-being of every individual in Lincoln. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Duden, and thank you for your service on the council. With that, we would be happy to open things up for questions from the media. I'm sure that you have a few. We also have Jeff Peterson here with us. He's from our Crime Analysis Unit to help answer any questions.
Chief Morrow, you mentioned that violent and Part 1 crimes had been down within the last year. Are there any driving factors to why that would be the case? Has there been anything you guys have been implementing to kind of lead to those numbers?
You know, in 2022, when we started experiencing a higher level, our department created a specialized response, and we're going to continue to do that when we see specific crimes elevating. And to the question of the violent crimes, we did. We worked really hard to make sure that officers were in areas of concern at those specific date and times, and that's our commitment to the community. And what I would tell you is that is officers' willingness to come in as an extra extra opportunity, right? They're coming outside of their shift as we have to increase staffing at those periods of time that we're trying to impact.
Yes, you talked about the auto thefts, the cases cleared has dropped. What's the largest hurdle the department is seeing that's causing the drop in cleared cases when it comes to auto thefts?
Well, the sheer number. We've had so many, it becomes very difficult for us to be able to investigate them all, but it certainly remains our goal. Overall, what we hope to do is to be able to lower that number for our community. We recognize that auto thefts, while some may believe that it's somewhat of a victimless crime, right? We do recover a lot of those vehicles, but typically they're damaged, not quite the same as when it left. And we know that when those vehicles are stolen, that's somebody who the next morning isn't going to get to work, isn't going to be able to take their kids to school, and it really has an impact that we're trying to address. So as we continue to share information about the increase in auto thefts, we're also going to ask our community to partner with us by securing their vehicles, keeping their keys inside, their valuables out of their vehicles. And then we're going to continue to have specialized enforcement efforts to address the issue. And part of that does bring in the conversation of, with the Nebraska State Patrol and the ability to have one of our officers, a technical flight officer, in the helicopters, because it provides us an opportunity to impact auto thefts.
And I know,
I think there has been such a massive influx in auto theft.
You know, I want to point to the most obvious for us, and that it really was a social media trend that, in particular, two makes and models of vehicles that they showcased of how easy it was to steal them. And so I think that that's when we started seeing the trend of auto thefts increasing. It will be interesting as time passes from the point of that social media trend to our efforts to see how quickly we can get the decrease, and then measure from there if we see additional increases that perhaps there's additional lies that we need to address.
and I know that lieutenants were added in the last few years. I think the report said there was 5 now. How much of a difference has that change made to the department to have that kind of staffing?
A really great question, and I would love to tell you that I have data and true evidence to highlight for you the value, but simply put, it's additional leadership, and they are doing an excellent job as we continue to grow that rank. Again, it's new for us, and so we have the right people in place to take those roles and really grow them for us to continue to experience what that can do for our organization. So we're really excited about having them and continued growth with that rank.
Have there been any changes in the hiring process, and if so, would you be able to tell us exactly what has changed in the hiring process?
Yeah, it's a great question. We are always evaluating our hiring process. There are some aspects of the process and the testing that are required by state statute, and so there is limited ability for us to make changes there. However, what we have learned is our partnerships are powerful. So I will lift one of those up, and that's the TABE test that's required. It's the first test after submitting an application and moving on in our process, and that's the test of adult basic education. It's a tough test. And so we partnered with Southeast Community College to help increase the number of our applicants that pass that test to continue to move forward. And really what that looks like is for a small fee, it's $25, and we can help cover that if necessary. They can take practice tests and be mentored by an instructor at Southeast Community College, who then can actually proctor that test for them and provide a certificate of passing, so they can bring it to us and they can move forward.
You also mentioned the catalytic converters. That was the biggest drop we saw. What exactly was done? I know you highlighted some officers. What were their tactics in order to drop it?
Yeah. Short answer, a city ordinance. The long answer is lots of meetings, lots of data collecting, lots of conversation and engagement with our partners, and a lot of effort, really, again, spearheaded by our crime analysis unit and Marie Matine, who we lifted up already. And then enforcement, once we had a city ordinance in place by our investigators and officers. But all told, again, our partnership with City Council and having that support allowed us to put this city ordinance in place that, as you can see from the numbers, had a drastic impact and saved our community members thousands of dollars. Catalytic converters are expensive.
Can I add one comment?
Please do.
I also just wanted to take this special opportunity, because you asked about catalytic converters, and in addition to our crime analysis intelligence units, to thank AC Brian Jackson, who was instrumental in helping us bring that ordinance through the city processes and to help result in some of these successes. His incredible career since, I believe, 1987 is being celebrated this week as he retires. And AC Jackson, we are so grateful for your leadership and service. Thank you.
Any other questions?
How important do you think the tips that you guys get from Crime Stoppers are? I know they went up this last year. How important is that for you guys to get to the bottom of some of these cases?
Yeah, we count on them. I mean, we call ourselves a community-based policing organization, and it can't be more true when we collaborate with community members who provide us tips and information to help us successfully solve cases. I mean, truth be told, we don't know what we don't know, and so we really rely on our community members to be willing to come forward, not just with tips, but and even calls for service if they see something suspicious. At least allow us an opportunity to have that impact.
I'd like to make a comment.
Thanks.
I just want to kind of reiterate, Lincoln Police Department is also full of great crime fighters. But that we also have, Lincoln has a reputation, its citizens have a very good reputation of participating in enforcement efforts, whether it's traffic, criminal, and we can help a lot just by reporting these things to the police department. As a former officer, I remember I made a lot of cases just based off of suspicious person calls. And the Lincolnites need to continue to call the police, report things, and also secure their property a little bit better too. Leaving your keys in your car is just an open door, and we all need to do a little bit better with home security and vehicle security now. So thank you very much.
Any other questions from the media today? All right. Well, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking a look at the report that's now available online as we work to update and inform our entire community about the incredible work and the successes of our Lincoln Police Department as we prioritize public safety. Thank you.